Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. My name is Matt Morris. We are live right now on YouTube as well as on Rumble as well as on Twitch today at Matt Morris TV. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here today. This lovely Saturday, we are going to be doing something a little bit special, a little bit abnormal. We are going to be doing some elongated coverage of today's No Kings protests, as they call them. As we've seen time and time again, these No Kings protests oftentimes end up devolving into No Kings riots, or as they like to say, No Kings peaceful protests. So today we might be watching some very peaceful protests, otherwise known back here in reality as riots. Now, ladies and gentlemen, today they are holding these protests in 3,300 individual locations across the country. That is what they are talking about, at least. And it's still early in the day. These protests / riots are already getting underway, and they are expected to ramp up in intensity as the day goes on. In fact, can I show you something here? We came locked and loaded. We came prepared. Ladies and gentlemen, oh, look at that up there in the top left. They've got decapitated heads. This is live. All of this is live. They've got decapitated heads of Pam Bondi, Hegseth, Kash Patel. Maybe that's Carolyn Levitt over there on the far left. So they are already out here figuratively decapitating members of the Trump administration. So that's just psychotic. So that's just great. That's psychotic. Right now, like I said, these protests / riots are just beginning. It's midday. It's 2 p.m. on the East Coast. Over here where I'm at, it is 11 in the morning. And they say things are just going to get crazier and crazier. Now, folks, a little bit of a background here. This is maybe the 4th or 5th time that we have covered No Kings protests here on this broadcast. And every single time as the day goes on, things do, in fact, sort of get crazier and crazier. You know what I'm noticing here? It doesn't seem as if we are currently live on Twitch. I'm not really sure why. Well, why in the heck are we not live on Twitch? Okay, I guess we're not live on Twitch today. I guess that's just the way that it is. Anyway, we're live on YouTube and on Rumble, and that's really all that we need. So, like I was saying, I imagine that things are going to escalate in sort of chaos. Oh, look, there's Donald Trump. Look, there he is. He's got his crown on. What's that? He has like money in his hands or something. Can we turn up the audio? Can we take a look on that one there? Hold up here. Wait a minute.
Remove, impeach, convict, remove, impeach, convict, remove. Impeach, convict, remove. Convict, remove.
Well, that's what they're going to try to do.
And the war.
You know, if they win midterms, that is what they're going to try to do. What they say, impeach, convict, remove. Impeach, convict, remove. That is what they're going to try to do.
Now they're united. Okay,
look at these psychotic people.
In our condemnation of this group. Shame, shame, shame. Arrest them all.
Shame,
Shame, shame,
Arrest
shame.
them all.
Arrest them all.
shame, shame, shame. Arrest them all.
Shame, shame, shame. Arrest them all. Shame, shame, shame. Arrest them all. Shame, shame. Shame. Arrest them all. Shame, shame, shame. Arrest them all.
Shane? Who is Shane? Who? Now, I'll tell you something here. There's a big No Kings protest scheduled for, it's going to begin in 2 hours or so in Los Angeles. It's always Los Angeles where we see some of the most chaotic behavior take place. Generally, they storm onto the freeways, they surround the DHS building, they start attacking the ICE facility there, they block traffic on the freeway, Now, I'll tell you something here. We actually already have a lot of crazy footage coming out. I want to show you here in a moment. But first, some super chats real quick. We're going to be here for the next couple hours, folks. This will be a little bit of a longer broadcast. Renbro says, I miss Sarah. Thank you, Renbro. Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate that, sir. Chris RD44. Thank you, sir. You're now a supporter of the show. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Christy says, happy No King's Day. Good grief. Christy, do you remember, by the way, thank you very much. I appreciate that a lot. The last No Kings protest they had, which devolved into riots, of course. The big topic at that point, this couple months ago, they were complaining about President Trump's attempt to secure Greenland, to sort of take control of Greenland, to negotiate a deal about Greenland. And they were saying, no kings, hands off Greenland, no kings, hands off Greenland. So here's the funny thing. Greenland literally does have a king. Greenland is a part of the Kingdom of Denmark. They literally have a king. And so Trump was, I don't know, I guess you could look at it through a different lens. Trump was trying to liberate Greenland from the king, like literal actual king that they do have. Today, I'm not actually sure. We got to see. What do you think they're most mad about? They're talking about arresting Hegseth and Miller. They've got these heads on pikes here. I'm not actually sure what their big critique of the day is. We're going to have to figure it out. You know, they're always mad about something new. Every single time they have one of these, they've got another big talking point. No, Christy, I want to say thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, ma'am. Happy Saturday. Good to see you. This is going to be a little bit more of a low-key, relaxed, hangout type of show. We're going to get to know each other while also getting to know some of these psychotic leftoids. Look at Philadelphia. They're marching through the streets. We have our aerial footage up there. They're taking over the roads. They're taking over all these roads. Hold up. Turn this one back up. Do we have audio there? No. They're chanting and screaming. Now, ladies and gentlemen, of course, throughout the day, we're going to be cycling through different cameras, different footage, different angles, because these protests here are happening all across the country. Dog Mom in New York. We might even be taking a look at New York today. I would not be surprised if we do. Thank you very much. Good to see you. Thank you. Marilyn Kaplan, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Dorks, they are dorks. Yeah. Yeah. Gridiron says, Matt, I wish the people who support Trump and the administration would go out and show them what a crowd is, but we would probably be the ones in jail. We already showed them. Like, this is the thing. Every time these No Kings losers are out here marching through the streets, screaming and shouting, this is what a tantrum looks like. No, I disagree respectfully. I don't think we should go out there and meet them on the streets because we won. We have the House, we have the Senate, we have the White House. We turned out, and the one time it matters, it's called Election Day. We have control of the country. You want to know why they are out there right now? It's because they lost. They are behaving like losers. That is what they're doing. We already turned up on Election Day, November 3rd, 2024. We won. We don't have to do this in the cold weather. We don't have to put on our jackets and bundle up and go march around the streets and block traffic. Because we won. This is not something we have to do. So I disagree. I think we should sit here and comedically watch these people and really highlight just how pathetic they are. We won. We're running the country. We're calling the shots. This is something that losers do. I don't really think that we should do this. And every time that a group of sort of right-wing Americans go down there and try to confront them, they try to bait us. They try to entrap us. And generally the police, they take their side. They try to get us in trouble. It's the two-tier justice system. No, it's a recipe for disaster. Sit here and watch these losers operate and really highlight to the country just how pathetic they are. We don't need to go down there. I don't think so. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Cozy Sunflower says, I can't believe parents bring their children to these SMH. Yeah, they are psychotic. They're having a tantrum. Thank you very much. The Snow Menlick says, assuming that 2,000 people show up at each of the 3.3 thousand protest rallies, that's roughly 2% of the U.S. population. Also, please note that roughly 1 to 3% of the U.S. are mentally challenged. That is all. Your 2K assumption, 2,000 attendance assumption, I think, is a little bit off base. We have one of these I live in a small town. We have a No Kings protest in my town. 15 people showed up. I was reading about there's people in like our local community Facebook groups talking about it. 15 people showed up. I live in a very, very red conservative place, one of the most conservative cities in the entire country, in one of the most conservative states in the country, Idaho. Still, we have a No Kings protest in my town that I live in. 15 people showed up. I was looking at photos of it on Facebook earlier today. 15. Most of these No Kings protests are totally lame, uneventful. Almost nobody shows up. So this assumption of 2,000 people is, I would not sign on to that. Now, there are a lot of mentally ill people in this country. That is true. And we call them leftists. Generally speaking, we call them Democrats. That is true. But 2,000 at every single one of these, I don't think so. I do not think so. Thank you very much. Stupid Tomato says Soros paid writers are at it again. I see. By the way, what's your take on legalized weed? Love the show. Thank you for all you do. You know what? First off, I appreciate that support. Thank you very much. Second off, it's true. Many of them, not all of them, but many of them are being paid for by various Soros affiliated networks, various other NGOs. There's a lot of these leftoid NGOs. It's true. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Now, my take on legalized weed, you know what? If I tell you guys, I'm really going to piss some of you off. I'm very regressive. Let's just put it that way. We don't need to have a whole conversation about weed and marijuana. I am a very regressive. These guys, they call themselves progressive. I am regressive. Unabashedly so. And that's all we need to say about it. You can be mad about that if you want. That's fine. Anyway, moving on. Okay, I need to pull something up. There's some other footage I wanted to show you here. 420 Matt. I am not a 420 Matt. I'm not a 420 Blazer. I hate to say it. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, there are Proud Boys and Trump supporters counter-protesting at West Palm Beach, Florida, at a No Kings protest. Oh boy, so folks, we already have drama out here today, and what I want to do is show you what that looks like. Take a look at this. Here we go. It's already going down. We got Trump supporters and Proud Boys, I guess.
Fuck you, you pussy! Fuck you! Don't grow up!
You look like a pig! Porky pig! Porky pig!
Porky pig.
Really? You're inbred, dude.
I'll tell you something. I didn't even really know that the Proud Boys still existed. I guess, yeah, no, you got Proud Boys, Proud Boys, Proud Boys, Make America Proud Again, Proud Boys. I didn't even know that they were really still around anymore. I guess they're out there doing something.
Why did your own person want the trial? There was this mega trial administration. When Hillary Clinton's supposed to be deposed. Why did that happen?
Okay, fucking sentence. You're gonna have a fucking stroke by the time you guys are Trump suppository.
So she's crazy. I'll tell you something, man. I said this 5 minutes ago. When your enemy or your opposition or your rival is in the process of making a series of mistakes and what's more, making themselves look like a fool, just stand back and let them cook. Just do not enter. And this is Sun Tzu, Art of War, the Art of War. Sun Tzu, he said 1 billion years ago, listen, when your enemy's making a mistake, do not interrupt them. These people, they're out here making themselves look like a bunch of damn psychotic fools. Just let them do it. That's my opinion.
You stink, buddy. You better shut up or he's going to beat you up again. He's going to beat you up again. She don't listen, does she? She don't fucking listen, does she? Clearly she don't listen. Because she's a smart woman who has her own fucking brain. Well, you beat her up for having her own brain. Why does she have a black eye?
Fucking tell me what to do, you piece of shit.
Tell him, baby. You're a meth addict. Are you going to withdrawal? Your whole fucking party is nothing but fucking hate.
Folks, like I said, listen, the day has barely even begun. All of this is just kicking off now. You're here live at the beginning of this, and things are already going crazy. It's going to be one hell of a day.
Fucking traitors! Fucking traitors! Hey, just nothing but love. You got nothing but love.
Yeah, small dick. Oh, yeah.
I love you with my small dick. If you're into these, you know who they voted. You know who they voted. Fucking Big Daddy. I don't know what you're saying. You're screaming. Talk like a man. What did you say? Say it with your chest, buddy. What's your man voice? Hey, did he punch you in the eye? Did he punch you in the eye? You got a black eye. Did you punch him? You like you punched him? Punched him? That's fucked up. God, how much meth have you smoked? Oh, bullshit, lady. That's a meth body. That's not genetic. That officer's looking at you like I've arrested 100%.
It's going down.
This is Cuba. He's also warning. This is Cuba. He's having a conversation. Somebody openly wants to. But they're forcing him to go over there. What for? That's the game. Staying in this game. This is look at the picture. Look at the picture.
Oh, listen, she's one of us. This lady right here, she's ultra MAGA. And she's doing a little shimmy jimmy. Look at that. Rapist, murderer, traitor, racist, felon, idiot. These people are just crazy. ICE murdered Renee and Alex. You want to know why I am alive and Renee Good is not alive? It's really very simple. It's because I did not try to drive my car into a group of ICE agents and run them over with my 4,000-pound Honda Pilot. That's why you are alive. You know why you are alive and why Renee Good is not? It's because you, presumably, did not try to run over an armed ICE agent with a 4,000-pound Honda Pilot. That's the difference. It's really not that complex. I don't think it's that complex, to be honest with you here. And we've got our live footage. They're still out there marching around now. I want to pull up some super chats here real quick. We've got this stuff all over the country. Dog Mama New York, one of my favorites. She says, watching this protest against Trump and realizing, wow, they really gathered everyone I fundamentally can't stand into one place. Go MAGA. Go MAGA. Yeah, they got a couple of them. You know, I'm going to tell you something. Okay, real quick. We always talk about the paid protesters, the paid rioters. I'm going to give you my speculation for whatever it's worth. I would bet, okay, look at all the people out there right now. We're looking at Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. One of our cameras is frozen. I need to get that fixed. I would bet that only somewhere between 5 and 10% of these people are actually getting paid to be there, maybe less. I actually believe that most of these people are genuinely just a bunch of leftoid, psychotic, useful idiots. You know, the communists back in the USSR, they had a term for people like this. They called them useful idiots. All you have to do is get them riled up, get them going, and then they just do it on their own. You don't even have to pay them. I think most of these people are not paid. They're called useful idiots, and they are the backbone. Useful idiots are the backbone of every single communist movement. You know that? All throughout history. They got a bunch of useful idiots out here. Look at that. They're waving their Palestine flags. Okay, they got the Palestine flags. Thank you, Dog Mama. I appreciate that. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that a lot. We have another one here. Allegedly, Joy Miller says they're more organized than people think. They're being tracked all over the country. I disagreed with the counts. Mutual funding, check it out. Yeah, that's right. There's a lot of funding. There's a lot of organization. In fact, we saw a lot of that during a lot of the anti-ICE stuff in Minneapolis. You are right about that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Saludo Surrender says, notice how in Florida we don't play that street block nonsense. And thank God, listen, you should. It is unacceptable for anybody in any form of protest, left wing, right wing, whatever, to be blocking the streets. You got to disavow it. I mean, can you imagine Imagine you're a husband and your wife is going into labor. You got to get to the hospital ASAP. You got to go. Your wife is in the back of the car. She's having contractions and you got to get to the hospital right now. And boom, there's an Antifa or a Black Lives Matter or a No Kings protest blocking the road. Imagine you're a parent and you've got a 4-year-old child who broke their arm. Maybe they cut themselves and it's a legitimate emergency. Got to go to the hospital right now. And you can't because, boom, protest blocking the road. Man, I'll tell you what, not me, of course, but somebody might just start running people over. In an emergency life or death situation like that type of scenario, somebody, hypothetically, might just start running people over, okay? It really is unacceptable. Man, look at them. They've got their heads mounted up on pikes. They're marching through the streets.
People united will never be divided. People united will never be divided.
Insanity.
Will never be divided. People united will never be divided. People united will never be
Volcan Rumble says Philly metro area has around 6 million population. 2,000 show up to protest. It's like 15 by you. Yeah, as a ratio, yeah, you might be right. That's right. I live in a town. We got 50,000 people. 15 out of 50,000 people showed up. 2,000 out of 6 million. Uh-huh. That's right. Now I'm pulling out more footage here for you folks. Oh, I've got it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. This is footage coming out of Florida. Take a look at this here. Oops, that's the wrong camera. You don't want to look at me. You want to look at Florida. I got to tell you folks something here. You guys know that there's a lot of generational animosity. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot of people my age, young people younger than me, they don't like boomers. There's generational animosity. Me, I've got no problem with boomers at all. It's all good. I love everybody. Except one type of boomer. It is the boomer hippie. The boomer hippies, I don't know, they got their brains fried. They took too much acid back at Woodstock in the 60s. I don't know what the hell happened to them. It's the hippie boomers. Not all boomers. I like boomers. I like you guys. I like you guys. It's the boomer hippies that I have a problem with, okay? Uh-huh.
You fucking asshole.
Go fuck yourself.
You're going to water about Christ. You got to me.
Now, what are the signs? Can we pause? Take a look at the signs. Guardians of pedophiles, love thy neighbor, give them work permits. We will not live on our knees. What is it? No, something about grandkids. No kings, I need my grandkids to know I was not silent. Okay. You know, Christ, what did Christ say? He said, love thy neighbor. Did Christ say, love thy illegal alien invader who's invading your country to collect welfare benefits? I'm not a theologian. I don't think, I've never heard of the parable of the illegal alien invader welfare recipient. I don't think that's one of the parables. I know love thy neighbor. I think it's a little bit of a different dynamic, though.
giant pussy.
You are the pussy. You are pussy. Me and you, let's go. Me and you, let's go. Let's go. Me and you, bitch.
You really just have all the craziest characters. It's like watching a cartoon down here. And then the camera pans and you've got this guy here. What does he say? He says, be patriotic, oppose Trumpism. Oppose Trumpism, he says. Okay. Let's flip on back our quad cam here. It looks like our helicopter is going to go get some more fuel in the tank. We've got big super chats here. I want to take a look at these real quick. Folks, we're going to have footage like this coming out all day, okay? Tune in, take a seat, get some popcorn. We've got crazy footage like this coming out all day. We're going to be here covering all of it. Dog Mama New York with another absolutely massive super chat. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Wow. She says, last year I visited my daughter in Notre Dame and ended up walking right into a Kings protest. I started asking people why they were there, and they clearly couldn't explain it. No one could articulate an actual reason. That's when I said, well, I voted for Trump. They've got no logic. There is zero depth to anything that they're talking about. You're 100% right. Yeah. And we've seen videos like, hey, why you out here? I don't know. They're paying me $200. I don't even know why I'm here. We've seen a lot of footage like that over the years. Now, it looks like we lost... hold up one moment here, folks. There's a beautiful Japanese cherry blossom. We lost one of our live feeds up there, Dog Mama. And so I need to pull up another one here for you. Hold up. Stand by. This is a one-man show. Let's see. No Kings Live. Bear with me here, folks. TDS. Yeah, really, TDS. Well, my therapist said I should come down here. It's going to help with my Trump derangement syndrome. I actually am a therapist. I am a therapist. And I'm down here. Now, what can I follow? Bear with me here, ladies and gentlemen. One moment here. Okay, we have that one. We have something coming out of Detroit. We've got something. They have all these speakers up there giving speeches about how. Oh, folks, we've got something coming out of Los Angeles already here. Okay. No longer is that Philadelphia. That is now Los Angeles. That's top right. I would imagine Los Angeles is probably going to be our craziest location today. And we already have something coming out of LA. Impeach. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I'm getting some more footage here, folks. Stand by here. Thomas, he says, I'm a boomer. The boomer hippies and our old Democrats in Congress. Yeah. That's right. You know, we've got people like this in my age group, too. We've got leftoid, psychotic leftoids in every single generation, as I'm sure you know better than anybody. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. They're crossing the crosswalk. Nana says, I wanted to say that I love your show and I've been a member for the past 6 months. I love your show. Also wanted to say my son met his wife on WoW 10 years ago. I still play WoW with him, his wife, and my oldest granddaughter. Keep up the great work on the show. That is awesome. That is awesome. That's actually awesome. Thank you very much. Those cars are plowing through. Look at that. Keep on gaming. Hey, Grandma, keep on grinding. Keep on grinding. We've got a gamer grandma in the audience. Thank you very much. That's awesome. Very cool. Thank you. I'm quickly pulling up another angle. I want to find another angle for you folks. You know who I heard was going to be live today? An individual. He goes by the name of Waxiest. I think he He was live 1 hour ago. He's not live yet. We might have Waxiest today. For those of you that remember him. Is this feed going to work? No. We're losing our Los Angeles feed now. Well, isn't that just great? These helicopters can only stay up there for so long, you know how it is. That one just went down, unbelievable.
I don't know how you walk backwards that much. I'm so impressed.
The source, he says, thanks, Matt, for being a voice. I'm 61 in Florida, born, and I've never seen people so stupid. For those of you that are a little bit older than me, I'm 32. I haven't been around as long as some of you folks. Do you think people are getting stupider? I've only got a 32-year time frame. You guys have a larger sample size here. Do you think people are getting stupider? Maybe so, man. Maybe so. Maybe so. Everybody says yes. Everybody says yes. This here is in Northern California. I'm not sure where. I'm just going to say Northern California because I'm not positive on that one. Stand by here. God is King says, for the authority and God's servant, if you're good, wrong, but if you do wrong, be afraid the rules are not bear sort of the reason. They are God's servants, agents, and wrath being punishment of the wrongdoer, Romans 13:4. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for the daily scripture there. I've got some I'll put up here on the screen for you folks. This is Minnesota. Bottom left.
Keep her on step down.
Oh, one moment here. No kings. There we go. There we go. We're back in action. March of the Retards. Hey, you said it, not me. Ryan, by the way, thank you very much, Ryan Armstrong. I appreciate that. 5 gifted memberships there. It's going to be one hell of a day, I'm telling you. We've seen how these go. They very quickly devolve into just riotous chaos. AEI on you says, Matt, I actually saw a sign. It says Jesus is king, but I'm going to add to it, but Trump is your president. True, he is the president. Thank you very much. DBitty1103 says, no retards. Actually, I think pretty much there's nothing but. There's actually nothing but. Thank you very much. OG American Grinds, 5 gifted Rumble premiums. Thank you, my good sir. Thank you very much. TNMI Ruby says, 70-year-old MAGA great-grandma, America First boomer. Watching you every day for weeks and appreciate all you do. Keep up the honest, insightful shows. You do. These ignorant commies make me want to puke. Hey, thank you. Thank you very much. You know, I don't want to be rude here, but we've got all these grandmas watching the show, and not once have any of you ever made me cookies. In fact, I've never had any of you grandmas even offer to make me cookies. I'm surrounded by grandmas. but I have a curiously low number of cookies in my life. So I'm saying, where are the cookies? Where are the grandma cookies? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. A lot of grandmas, no cookies. What's up with that? Thank you very much. The grandmas are slacking a little bit here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What the hell is that in the top left? That's like some sort of demonic satanic... What? Did you see that? What in the hell was that thing? I looked up and I saw a demon on the screen. I got a little bit scared. Help Mama says the stupidity has been systematically baked into the U.S. education system since Clinton through the Red, Communist, and Green Islamic Alliance. That is 100% true. 100% true. I'll tell you, like I said, I'm 32 years old. The extent to which we learned about American history, I went through 12 years of American public school. The extent to which we learned about American history was the extent to which we learned about how us white Americans were bad, evil, irredeemably bad, uniquely evil. White Americans caused every single problem in the entire world. That was really all we learned about history. And I'm sure that any millennials, people my age, can back me up. Was that also your experience going through American public school history classes? That's kind of what we learned. We didn't really spend a lot of time talking about all of the great, noble, righteous things we have done. Patricia Luna says, I have libtard fatigue. Great show, Matt. Patricia. Thank you, Mrs. Luna. Thank you very much. We got to vote. We can't let these people have any power in this country, right? They're out there. Look at them. The Gaming Murph says, with DHS on heightened alert and these people in the open, unsecured areas, I think about all the concerned, all the something terrorists Biden let into... Yeah, I'd be worried about that too. With the DHS shutdown especially. Thank you very much. You're right about that. Thank God Trump has spent the last 14 months trying to arrest as many of them and deport as many of them as possible. Thank God. Cindy Evans, thank you very much. Thank you. Zion War says, Matt wants cookies, but won't drop a P.O. box. Yeah, I'm never going to have a P.O. box. It's a little... Yeah, I know. I know how it is. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not doing a P.O. box. Thank you, Kid 515. Thank you very much. And also, Jay Wren, late boomer grandpa of 5 in the Bay Area, California, not much longer. Where do I send you cookies? That's the problem. You can't. You can't send me cookies. I hate to say it. What are they saying?
It's okay to change your mind. Show us your courage. Leave us behind. It's okay to change your mind, and you can join us anytime.
This is so embarrassing.
It's okay to change.
This is so embarrassing.
Show us your courage. Leave us behind. It's okay to change your mind, and you can join us anytime. You can join us anytime.
Okay, so that's what's going on down there on the streets. I'm going to do a quick scan. I've got more footage I can share with you folks. Hold up. Stand by here, ladies and gentlemen. You know, there's so many super chats. I need to make sure we don't fall behind on these real quick. We have one from Jay Rinka. Again, thank you very much. This is the Misfit. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yep, same. That's right. This is D Biddy. I think I got that one. Hold up here. Hold up. Razor Sharp, thank you very much. And Deluxe Knight says Eastern Washington is having a no King Ferguson route. They're everywhere. Now, most of these, nobody even attends. Most of these things, nobody even shows up. It's really only a handful of these where you have people that are out here. Now, I've got something to show you, folks. We have got some celebrities on the scene. What's going on here? It's Robert De Niro. Look at that. Well, you just have all the freaks out here. Look at it. Look at this. It's Big Tish. It's Big Letitia James. Uh-huh. This must be the streets in New York. They got Al Sharpton down. They got everybody down there. Letitia James, I saw she just had a criminal referral sent over the DOJ. These people are just so gross. This is Trump. Trump's hair with a butt for his face. Union strong, no king since 1776. Uh-huh. No kings. Yeah.
The banner is not unfold right now. We want to make maximum impact, so please move back so the banner can fully be shown.
Please, you're blocking my banner. So this is just going on everywhere. Like I said, that there's really only a handful of locations. Oh my gosh. You want to see TDS meltdown? You want to see a TDS meltdown? Hold up here.
I support this movement 150%.
Yeah.
But when the crowds are chanting "No Kings," what I'm really hearing, as we all know, is "No Trump."
That's right.
There have been other presidents who have tested the constitutional limits of their power, but none have been such an existential threat to our freedoms and security. None, except Trump.
Okay, thank you, Robert De Niro. Thank you for that. For that lovely statement. They're on the march. They're on the move. This is downtown New York. Every person supporting Trump endangers innocence nationwide. Epstein. Release the pedo files. Seems like they kind of forget. Under which administration was Epstein arrested? The Trump administration. Under which administration was Maxwell arrested? The Trump administration. Under which administration were all the Epstein files released? The Trump administration. What did Joe Biden do? What did the Biden administration do about Epstein? Nothing. Nothing at all. No, can't, man. I can't think of a bigger waste of time on Saturday. On Saturday afternoon. Superhero Comics says, classic mob libtard mentality. They do not realize they can do this because Trump is not a dictator. That's the irony. if he was a king, if he was a dictator, all of these people would just be immediately decapitated. He's not. Thank God he's not. He's not. Man, we have all types of footage coming out in Florida. I don't even know where to begin. You know what? In fact, why don't we just start breaking? Okay, folks, we've got a lot of crazy footage coming out of Florida right now. Take a look at this. That's the wrong camera. Wrong camera. Sorry about that. Right here.
Oh, hey,
25, 100. This guy 15. He goes for 50. How much I pay? 50. Let him go.
it's USA. Oh, hey, the fashion's USA. Oh, hey, the fashion's USA. Like
Sorrow, you get paid.
Let it go.
You guys are getting paid.
I know what communismo is. I know what communismo is.
USA.
Fool.
Hey,
All of you. All of you.
right there.
All of you. All of you are enjoying communism. You see those kids? You're finding all the future. There you go. Come on. Bring it on. All of you are part of the future generation. See, this kid.
Well, this is ironic. Man, this is probably the most ironic thing I've ever seen. Hello?
What choice you gonna give it to the young people? What choice you give it to the young people? You already planted their future. All of you. You planted all the future of the young people.
Flush Trump.
Okay, now, I'm just thinking about this whole no kings thing. This is a very, very important question I'm about to ask all of you. If you have to pick one or the other, you have to pick. Which do you choose? Burger King or McDonald's? Because personally, I'm saying no kings. I'd rather have McDonald's than Burger King. No kings, McDonald's, please. Bacon McDouble, please. Thank you very much. No kings. That's what I'm saying. Now, we have more, God, good Lord, the footage coming out of Palm Springs, Florida here is just crazy. We've got even more coming out. Take a look at this.
Take our country back!
No kings! No kings!
Uh-huh. Can I tell you something here? I am getting a little bit tired of having these people call Trump and Trump voters and Republicans pedos and pedo protectors. First off, that's ridiculous. There's no proof. These people specifically just spent the better half of a decade trying to put mentally ill, sexually deranged men who thought they were women into little girls' bathrooms. And they are the ones calling us and Trump and MAGA pedos. They just spent the better half a decade trying to inject children with exogenous hormones so that they can sex transition. The hypocrisy is just unbelievable, first off, has to be said. What did that say? I am Antifa, and the Constitution is my handbook. You are Antifa, huh? Well, guess what? You are a domestic terrorist. Over here, officer, we got another one. They've got all their George Soros signs. I just have to call it like I see it. I don't think I just saw a single young person or a single non-white person. We have a problem. Like I said, it's these hippie boomers. And it's not all boomers. Hashtag not all boomers. I love the good boomers and the bad boomers. I don't love them so much. It's a bunch of old liberals. It's old liberals. They are the ones that are out here. Nobody else is out here. Now, that's just something else. Hands off she has a Burger King crown. The last person that wore a Burger King crown said something pretty bad on an airplane. I saw that video a long time ago. Hands off our democracy. Okay. Raise trouble. I resist. Okay. And now we have the dancing Epstein frog. The dancing Antifa Epstein frog, or whatever the hell that thing is up there. Okay, I'm going to try to pull up some other angles here, folks. Bear with me here. Make sure I haven't missed any of these super chats. John, he said, this is John on Rumble. He says, these are the same disgusting libtards that love to shout death to America while they sit on their ass promoting this kind of crap, propaganda, bullcrap. These libtards need to be deported ASAP. What do we do about them? I mean, you can't deport them. You can't deport them. Or can you? No, we probably can't. Now, bear with me here, folks. I'm pulling up some more coverage. Bear with me here, folks. Stop the grift? Stop the war. Uh-huh. I think they forgot the part. They forgot the part how Trump won the election in a landslide. We had an election, you know. Democracy, it looks like the election we had 18 months ago. That's what that was. That is what it looks like. You know who won? It was Donald Trump. And he didn't just win a little bit. He won in a massive landslide, massive electoral college landslide. He won the popular vote. The Republicans won the House and the Senate. That is actually what it looks like. A bunch of geriatric libtards marching around outside on a Saturday. That is actually not what democracy looks like. That is what mental illness looks like. Just to be very clear, that is what Trump derangement syndrome looks like. Oh my god. Okay, I've got some footage to share with you folks here. Just one moment.
This is what democracy looks like.
Okay, some footage to share with you folks here. We've got different little clips coming from all around the country, so we're going to be ping-ponging around here. First off, No Kings protests are turning out to be a total disaster and embarrassment. Liberals dressing up as handmaids to stop Donald Trump. Okay, before we play the clip, this is based on a book. It's called The Handmaid's Tale, right? And in the book, there's some fascist patriarchal regime that, as far as I understand, like forces all women, strips them of their rights and forces them to forces them to get pregnant against their will and stuff like that. And they're out here dressing up as these handmaidens. Can I say something here? And it's fiction, of course. Can I ask a question? Is this some weird sex fetish? Do these women out here marching around dressed up like this? Is this some weird, like, repressed fantasy of theirs? They're dressing up because this is just so completely detached from reality. In no way, shape, or form is this happening in this country at all. If you're like anti-ICE, I get it, because ICE is doing stuff. Okay, whatever. This is like not even happening at all, even a little bit. Is this some weird sex fantasy that these women have? Because I don't know what the F is going on here.
Yeah, I hold it so I can take a picture. Let me hold it.
Fabulous, ladies. Fabulous.
Fabulous. Just fabulous, ladies.
Have someone else take home. I would be happy to take one.
Uh-huh.
It's okay. I mean, oh, yeah, you can. Take what you want. I didn't bring one. I had a digestive upset this morning.
Uh-huh.
I'll be happy to take that one.
They're just part of a cult. That's probably right.
That one's better. Thank you. You know what? I'll take that one.
They have a bunch of names here.
Fabulous, ladies. Fabulous. Thank you.
Fabulous. Wow. Thank you, ladies.
I know you're not supposed to say anything. I watch Handmaid's Tale, okay?
This is the worst I've seen. Yeah, it's just heinous.
Uh-huh.
Nixon looks like a prince now. Nixon looks good now.
So effective. So effective.
In the front little section.
You just have to assume that all of these women are mentally ill. They're just like literally mentally ill. New footage of No Kings in North Carolina.
It's not a superhero that's going to come to save us, right? It's us. We are the people we've been waiting for. Normal people showing up, speaking out, making it clear that we actually...
Yeah, ooh, you should have voted harder. We had an election 18 months ago. Ooh, that sucks. Yeah, you don't like Trump. You don't want him to be the president. I guess you should have voted just a little bit harder. Ooh. Oh, man, that sucks because he's the president and you're not happy about it. That sucks for you. That sucks for you. Just in, mass amounts of paid protesters are storming the streets of New York City with Attorney General Letitia James, Robert De Niro, and Al Sharpton. There they are. There's Robert De Niro right in front of the three-eyed alien. You can tell this is a very serious movement. ICE must go. Uh-huh. Maximum impact. So, yeah. So, okay. So it's going to be one of those days. Salute or surrender says no libs, no Democrats, no more self-destructive empathy. True. Very true. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. We are putting ourselves first. Video says, without Trump, these people could not move around and speak up in Washington, D.C. without risking their lives. That's true. There'd be too many random gang shootings in D.C. You're probably right about that. You'd be having drive-by shootings out here. Now, it appears to be some type of ancient Egyptian pyramid in the top right. No, they're marching down the road there. Video, thank you very much. I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you very much. Sincerely, I appreciate that a lot. Thank you very much. Hold up, here on Rumble, we've got Brian Ledbetter, one of my favorites. He says, thanks to you and your family in Argos, the left have no winning topic. This propaganda is their only hope for gaining votes. CPAC did great messaging. You know, I did not watch anything from CPAC this year. Was it good? Did it go well? I hope so. I hope so. Thank you very much, Brian. I appreciate that. Maybe I need to go back and watch some of the clips. Johnny says, I really enjoyed being on your live, Matt. Great job with the good works. Watching this protest is like watching people have a mental breakdown. These protesters are definitely paid an empty brain. Some of them are. You know, listen, I said this about a half hour ago now. Some of them are paid. Most of them are not. We need to confront the problem that we have in this country. If we say all of these protesters are paid, they're all getting paid to be there, that kind of obfuscates from the reality that we have a lot of mentally ill, genuine, sincere, homegrown, all-American, leftist, mentally ill nut jobs. These people are real. They are Americans. We can't deport them. They're in the country alongside us. That is a real problem. That is a conflict. That's a problem that must be confronted. Not all of them are paid. Not all of them are fake. We can't deport all of them. A lot of these people are real. They are sincere. This country is infested with far left radical nut jobs. It's true. And we need to understand that in order to solve a problem, you have to acknowledge what the problem is. Now, some of them are paid. We do have paid agitators. We know that, of course. Most of them are not. Most of them are not. Some of them are. But like they say, listen, if you want to solve a problem, you have to first acknowledge the reality of that problem. It's true. That much is true. I'm going to find some more footage here for you folks. Hold up. Stand by. One moment here, ladies and gentlemen. You want to know how I know it's true? You need to keep in mind, I'm from Portland, Oregon. I spent the first 26 years of my life living in Portland. I know these people are real because I'm friends with them. I went to school with them. I'm related to them. I've got family members just like this. I kid you not. I went to school with them. I used to work with them. They're not all paid. These are real people. A lot of them are real people. And they're out of their damn mind. And they're out of their mind. And they're out of their mind. Who here lives in a blue state? You know, these are real people. They're banging on Home Depot paint buckets. They brought out the Home Depot paint buckets. That's how you know they're serious. Stand by here, folks. I might have something for you here. Guess what? This is going down in Dallas, Texas also.
You guys can hear me right now. Again, what we're seeing is a select couple of counter-protesters who are really drawing a lot of attention at the front lines of this protest. One of them is political commentator slash comedian Alex Stein, who has a large following, is very known for disrupting people at different sort of protests and events like that. Standing next to him is what appears to be Elmer Stewart Rhodes. Stewart Rhodes was found February 6th, and he's out here at the front lines of this protest. Again, it's becoming a bit
This is Dallas.
violent. You are seeing people starting to push and shove.
Oh boy, this is
You're
live.
seeing people having to keep some people back. Dallas Police Department again right now getting in the middle of something, taking some person down.
I saw Enrique Tarrio also down there. He's the former leader of the Proud Boys.
Masked individual with sunglasses who multiple DPD officers right now are taking down into a corner off Main Street. We want to apologize for any sort of delays that we have with our signal up here, but again, what our camera is on right now, what I'm seeing is multiple Dallas police officers taking away someone who we can't tell who, but they have sunglasses on, they have a mask on. And again, we don't know what Dallas Police Department is trying to do with taking some of these people off to the side. We don't know if this person is actually being arrested. We don't know if this person is simply just being taken off to the side for questioning, for maybe their own safety, because they are in the front of a lot of people who are opposed to their beliefs. But there definitely seems to be some sort of antagonizing nature. And then people who are physically pushing back at these people who are trying to counter-protest.
Folks, if you are live, if you are tuning in live, make sure to hit that like button and make sure to subscribe if you're new to the show. Thank you very much.
So right now we are at the corner of Irvay and Main Street here in downtown Dallas.
I see this comment here. It says, Matt Morse, you're making a whole show out of this dumb crap. That's just what they want. Listen, you got it backwards. What we are doing here is exposing how petulant, obnoxious, insane, and hysterical these leftist freaks are. The best thing, you got it backwards. The best thing we can do is expose to as many people as we possibly can just how psychotic these people are. You're giving them what they want. We're flipping it. We are exposing how psychotic they are, and everybody knows that now. I think everybody can see that.
U.S. badge on his front left hip. So we're not sure who this person potentially is with, but Dallas police are holding this person in custody.
There they go right there.
Can you say...
So this guy's got a badge. The guy they're detaining has a badge.
Is this person being detained? Is this person being arrested? Can you say, is this person being detained, arrested? Oh, he's going to jail. He's going to jail? I see a U.S. badge on him. Is he a federal agent? There's a U.S. badge on this person. So just a confusing situation because a Dallas PD officer just told me this person is going to jail. He does have some sort of a U.S. law enforcement badge on his hip. Don't know if it's legitimate or not, but he's being held up against this wall right now with his hands behind his back. Two Dallas police officers on him again. One officer just told me he is going to jail. We don't know exactly for what.
He could have been impersonating. I don't know.
This march has turned into a standstill here at the intersection of Main Street and Irvay. As you see, more DPD officers coming in right now.
This is in Dallas, folks. Dallas.
Do what they can to bring some calmness to this situation, as there are protesters and counter-protesters just going right at it with each other. So here you see, we're going to go back over here for a second. Again, not sure who this individual is because they had a mask up, had sunglasses on. There's some sort of law enforcement badge on his left hip, but is that gun they're pulling off of him?
Wow. Yeah,
was that gun on him?
That was his gun.
Was that gun on him? They didn't want to answer. My photographer is saying that gun was on the person who's being taken into custody right now. Looks like Dallas police just took the clip out of it.
Wow.
And again, can't tell who this person is or what that badge was on his left hip, if it was legitimate or not, but you see 4 officers surrounding him right now. And again, a minute ago,
they got the baggie.
I was told directly from one of these officers, oh, he's going to jail. There's a Ziploc bag right now they're also going through that they pulled away from him.
They take his mask off? Oh, they got his mask off.
Not sure what's inside, but this was one person who was with a small group of counter protesters who were...
Looks like a knife, 2 knives.
That looks like...
A knife and a baton.
I don't want to assume. But something was just pulled off his person and placed into his Ziploc bag. As this protest again, this march, has really just stopped here in the middle of downtown Dallas over at Irvay and Main Street.
That's one hell of a cop there. She is large and in charge.
Officers patting this person down right now. Seems like the gentleman is being cooperative. He is answering questions with officers. They have taken a few things off his person, including that weapon.
It's
and
Glenn
it looks
Beck.
like right now
No,
they might
it's
be
not
just
Glenn
finding
Beck.
a vehicle to place him in.
No.
I think what we're going to do is head back over this way now. We'll try to get some information from Dallas police on what that was all about, but
very strange.
Again, here at the intersection of Main Street and Irvay, a much more visible Dallas Police Department presence as you see officers here, one with pepper balls right here, just in case that needs to be used against anyone in the crowd. Earlier on in this protest, we did not see Dallas police officers, really except for a couple of them at the front guiding people and making sure that the roads were clear. But obviously with all the tension that you see right now, Dallas police making much more of a presence out here during this protest. The march is continuing.
Who would have
on.
expected Dallas to be the craziest right now, of all places?
We don't want to get lost in the middle of it, but this is moving forward.
Yep.
Led by this truck that some organizers are speaking through a megaphone on, and you still see a couple of counter protesters at the front lines and a few people following them. Again, at the front, we are now turning on to Elm Street. The chants now are no ice in our streets. And if you were listening in earlier, the protest, the rally, I should say, had a lot of speakers, had about a dozen speakers, and the majority of the conversations were about ICE activity here in Dallas. So that's what the conversation was about during the last No Kings protests we saw. But again, times have changed, and obviously we're in the middle of a war right now with Iran, with Israel, and I thought that was maybe going to be discussed a bit more at this protest. A couple speakers brought it up, but most of the focus was still
they don't really care about
ICE
that.
Enforcement.
Yeah. They don't really care about the war. They're just still mad about
I was
ICE.
talking to the organizer before all this happened, the head organizer of this protest, and she was saying the reason that they were going to stick to more ICE conversation topics was because they believe that is what is the most pressing topic here in Dallas.
Oh, we got a rabble rouser.
I'm not sure what this person was trying to accomplish. I know he was just hurling some insults at the Dallas police officers. He was speaking through a megaphone right in front of their face. I don't know if there's anything illegal about what he's doing. Looks like he might be holding up a press pass right now that was given out by the organizers of the protest.
Smiling Marty, thank you. Hey, thank you very much.
So let's...
Thank you very much.
So, right here, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
They're setting up the perimeter.
A dozen Dallas PD officers right now holding a line right here as the protest is what appears to be coming around this corner. On the other side of where we are, there is that group of counter protesters, mostly by themselves right now. It doesn't seem like any of the No Kings protesters are conversing with them or getting in a back and forth with them like we saw earlier. For the most part, this looks like just people who are on the counter side of things, making their voices heard, making their presence felt. at the
I want more ice.
leading that pack, it seems, is, I was mentioning earlier, conservative commentator Alex Stein, who is local to Dallas. He is talking with his group over there, and looks like he's on a live stream. Stuart Rhodes is with him as well, who is founder of the Oath Keepers, who
The
we've
Oath
recorded on it
Keepers.
many times. He's the one with the eye patch and the cowboy hat on right there. There are a couple people who, it seems like, are following them, who are hurling some.
Do you think I should get an eye patch? Even though both my eyes work pretty well, I just kind of think it would look cool. It kind of would look cool though, right?
Protesters right here, what we see is law enforcement stepping in front of them as
Something to
the
think
march
about.
is coming in this direction. So we're about to be met head on with, you know, a couple thousand No Kings protesters, and then police standing in front to separate between a handful of counter protesters. Some of these officers have their pepper ball guns out here just in case anything needs to be used. Hopefully not. But probably gonna get out here to the center just to show you guys exactly where we're at. I can tell you, as Dallas police officers are holding this line right now, I can tell you that we have not seen any sort of, we haven't seen any sort of these counter protests before at any of these No Kings protests in the past. So, language, sir. Language, sir. So, again,
protest now, baby. Protest 99 Alex Stein, the pro-America protest.
so we have a couple people out here who are, again, countering this protest, saying it's a pro-America protest. This is just a handful of people.
It's a pro-America protest.
What is a couple thousand people here at this No Kings protest? Again,
That's what it is.
we have not seen any sort of counter protest at these previous No Kings protests here in Dallas. Nothing has gotten this heated, I should say, before.
Interesting day here, the No Kings in Dallas, Texas.
This is, again, it's just a handful of counter protesters. I know I keep saying that, but I want to emphasize that. It really is just a handful of counter protesters, and these handful of counter protesters are really responsible for bringing out a line of Dallas police officers and seeing all this confrontation in the streets.
Oh, it's the counter protesters.
For No
Oh.
Kings, where it was really just a lot of peaceful marching.
You see what this guy's saying? He's actually he's blaming all the problems. The police wouldn't need to be here unless for the 12 or half a dozen counter protesters. Man, that is just ridiculous.
Don't know the extent of what any possible charges might be.
Ah.
We always know that in any protest, we know that Dallas Police Department is usually right around the corner just waiting in case anything crazy happens. Well, today that happened as a handful of counter protesters really are responsible for this happening, and it shows you just how quickly Dallas Police Department will jump in if they feel they need to. They're usually right around the corner, not wanting to be seen, just wanting to let people protest and go about their business. But when something like this happens, where people are getting confrontational, where there's a little bit of violence,
Nuremberg.
pushing and shoving like we saw today, within minutes, you see them come out and step into action. And it looks like probably for the remainder of this protest, we are going to see Dallas Police Department at the front of this protest just doing what it can to make sure that people are not hurt, do the best that they can. For those who are familiar with downtown Dallas, over to my left is the eyeball, the famous eyeball that everyone knows in downtown.
You guys understand, if these people ever regain control of the country, White House, House of Representatives, Senate, they will weaponize the DOJ, weapon the FBI, weaponize the FBI. They will do every single thing they can. You thought it was bad in the Biden era? That was nothing. That was nothing. They are going to go all out on Trump, the Trump administration, voters, people that supported Trump, people like me, right-wing commentators. They will go all out. They will use and abuse every single mechanism of power that they possibly can to destroy us. They're going to, of course, reopen the border. They'll try to replace us in our own homeland. They will do everything, every single thing they can, which is why we cannot let these people ever have power again. If you're even thinking about not voting, you got to vote. You got to wake up.
And our photographer, Mel, who has his camera, we're just walking and talking and trying to show you what we see. So very raw out here, but we saw a handful of police vehicles pull up this way. Just wanted to see what's going on, if anything interesting
My
is
ass
happening.
will be in jail. Yeah, probably. Yep. Wouldn't be surprised.
And it really just appears to be the same sort of confrontation between counter-protesters, a handful of them again, and then a few protesters.
That's blonde in the belly of the beast. Is that her? No, that's not her. No, what's her name? That blonde girl's name. What is her name? I've got her. I follow her on Twitter. What is her name? Her, right there. I forget. She was in Portland during the Portland ICE stuff.
I think what we're going to get...
Right side rebel. Thank you. Thank you. That's
we're
right.
walking, again, down on Elm Street here in downtown, one block up from Main Street. We're at Elm and Packard. And I think what we'll do is kind of just stay here for a second, get a shot, and show you what everything is looking like. So, you know, here we are on a Saturday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And these protests that are typically calm and just people doing a 20, 30-minute march in a circle around downtown. Quite a different scene right now.
Dude.
Because Dallas Police Department is involved really just because of a handful of opposition protesters who have really led to tense conversations with a bunch of protesters.
This guy is coping so hard, it's so embarrassing. This is a classic case of Schrodinger's counter-protester. First off, the protesters are allowed to be there, but for some reason the counter-right-wing protesters are not. Okay, explain that. Second off, he's always saying there's not that many of them. There's almost no right-wing counter-protesters, but still every single problem that is arising is to be blamed on them. He's like saying there's almost none of them, and they don't have a right to be there, but also they have disrupted everything. There's like 6 protesters, and that warrants 100 police officers that otherwise would not need to be there. Okay, that is a little bit ridiculous.
So as we are watching David Centenary
Maximum
reporting
code.
live in the streets of downtown Dallas, David was mentioning Stuart Rhodes, the founder of Oath. It also appears that Enrique Tarrio, leader of the Proud Boys, was there, in fact, trying to disrupt David's live shot just a few moments ago. I'm just kind of curious if how they would feel if he was trying to interrupt their broadcasts, but both of them were convicted for their roles in the 2021 Capitol riot, and then both of those men were pardoned by President Donald Trump. So a little bit of perspective there as the crowds grow and swell.
So in other words,
the
they're
streets
awesome.
Of downtown Dallas. There are more
In other words,
than
they are awesome.
3,100 No Kings demonstrations scheduled across the country today. So this is not something that is specific or unique to North Texas. These are scheduled all over in every state, including Alaska, inside the Arctic Circle. The Nation magazine has described this weekend's events as potentially becoming the biggest single day of protest in U.S. history. Previous No Kings protests in June and October of 2025 were already among the largest single-day demonstrations in history, according to the Harvard University Crowd Counting Consortium. And I have a difficult time. We talked about this last year when we were covering these. I am personally not the best at judging crowd size by pictures. It's a little deceptive.
All right, let me flip us back over here to the big cams here. We've got 4 different cameras. We are live in Washington, D.C., Northern California, another Washington, D.C., and of course that was in Dallas, Texas. Now, ladies and gentlemen, quickly, what I wanted to find was whether or not anything in Los Angeles has started sort of popping off. I'm going to do a quick scan here, ladies and gentlemen, for something coming out of Los Angeles.
Have plans on this Saturday afternoon that bring you out and about.
One moment here, folks.
I saw a bit of traffic back up myself coming in from Arlington into downtown Dallas ahead of today's rally getting underway. The one in Dallas, their run runs until 3 o'clock. It began at noon. And when we talk about 3,100 No Kings demonstrations across the whole nation, more than 25 in North Texas specifically. And we have brought you coverage of that this morning. Frisco, Denton, Carrollton, Garland.
We were talking about this earlier. Yes, allegedly there's actually 3,300 No Kings protests, events across the country today happening right now. 3,300 of them. Now, the thing is, most of these events, like, nobody shows up to. There's actually an event in my town. Downtown in my town, there's an event. I was looking at people post pictures of this on Facebook this morning. There's only 15 No Kings protesters down there. There's 15 people. So is that like a big event? Not really. So when they say 3,300 events, it's not events like this. Really, it's just a couple libtards standing on a block, yelling into a microphone or screaming at cars as they drive through the town. Generally speaking, that's what it is. 33. Can I tell you something? Can somebody tell me what is the deal with 33? Anytime the number 33 pops up, I always see people going 33. I have no idea what that means if I'm on. Can somebody tell me? I hate to sound like an idiot or something. What is the deal with 33? Why does everybody always trip up over 33? Because I do not know. I'm going to wait for an answer. What I read is 3,300 events across the country. It's more propaganda. What? Hold up. Somebody. Oh, it's a Freemason thing. Ah, okay. 30. It's a Freemason thing. Can I tell you something here? I'll tell you a little bit of a personal story. When I was a young boy, I was riding around town with my grandfather, Great-Grandpa Vic. Grandpa Vic. Not my great-grand. Anyway, Grandpa Vic. And we drove past a Masonic lodge that was in town. And I must have been a 10-year-old boy. I said, wow, Grandpa, are you a Mason? Those guys must be cool. You know, you hear it on TV or something like that. And he said, no, I'm not. I said, why not? And my grandpa, he said, well, they invited me one time, but I didn't want to join. I said, why? Sounds cool. And he said, well, it's because all they do is get together and complain about things, but never actually do anything. That's what he said. That's what my grandpa said when I was a 10-year-old boy. He said, well, all they do is complain and never do anything. And they invited him, but he didn't want to join. I said, oh, okay. So that's my Mason story. I guess my grandpa got invited. He didn't want to join.
And
I don't know how it works.
For a while. So we are continuing to walk down Elm, and we are actually not too far from our station, Casey, but we are off Elm and Griffin right now, approaching the Elm and Griffin intersection, and it appears Dallas Police Department
Maybe they do stuff. I don't know.
Some sort of a stop right now. They're trying to keep a lot of people who aren't a part of the protest onto the sidewalk, including the counter-protesters, who now it appears are spilling back into the street, or at least crossing at this point in time. It is interesting that a select handful of people can cause such a disruption at a protest of thousands of people, but that's what we're seeing, and this is not the first time, that's happened across the country. It's not unheard of, but also not exactly
We're losing our
common. The
North
last handful
California
of
feed here.
protests that we've covered,
Hold up here.
we haven't seen anything like this for the most part. Really hasn't been a lot of opposition at these No Kings protests.
Now there is a
It's
little
just
bit.
been a couple thousand people, or I think one protest was up to 5,000 people potentially. And they did a circle around blocks of downtown and got back to City Hall, and that was it. It was over. But I haven't seen anything like what we saw today regarding these No Kings protests.
And
You want to see something embarrassing? Take a look at this.
just be very clear. Our weather may be a little cool, but our people are warm and we're fierce.
They got Tim Waltz up here.
And my message, because this is not over, don't ever mistake our kindness for weakness.
Uh-huh.
We demand justice for Renee Good and Alex Preddy. We demand justice for every single person who was hurt or traumatized.
Uh-huh.
We will never forget what they did here.
I am traumatized by the $18 billion worth of fraud in your state under your leadership. That's what I'm traumatized by. Now, what the hell do we have going on here? Hold up. We are back on the ground here. Hold up. Wait a minute.
You can see behind us, we are at the front of the line of the protest right now, and then behind us over here is where you see a line of Dallas police officers.
What about that fraud, Tim Waltz?
To indicate that they're wanting people to go here to the left back towards City Hall because they're blocking this street here on Elm, not wanting people to continue to move forward. So that's what it appears to be. I think we're going to see these protesters probably take a left and start
Legendary
to head back
CEO.
towards City Hall right now, where this
Good,
began.
hey, good luck.
And
Thank
from
you.
there,
Thank you very
the
much.
protest will likely wrap up. This was only supposed to go until 3 o'clock, but everything got started a bit late today. So let's see, where are we at now? 2:30. So I think they're probably going to head back towards City Hall. But right now we're just at a pause here at the intersection of Elm and Griffin. We'll give you a shot again of the front of the protest. I wish I could tell you how many people are taking part in it, but it definitely seems to be a couple thousand. That's just something I would safely guess, but maybe we can get some official numbers from the city later on today. As far as the small number of counter-protesters, I do not see them here at the front anymore. That doesn't mean they are not here, but I just do not see them here right now. So not sure if they are somewhere else or if they've given up for now or if anything has happened, but Dallas PD now telling people to move, and they're actually marching forward, continuing to go down Elm. So it looks like, I could be wrong, but let's see what happens here.
I'm looking for a Los Angeles.
It looks like the protest is going to continue. Elm
Good
Street
God.
heading toward Lamar. For those who know downtown Dallas, we are probably about 4 or 5 blocks from where JFK was assassinated. You could see that whole Dealey Plaza area just down the road from us right now. But thankfully, we haven't seen any sort of physical aggression here in the past few minutes. After Dallas PD got involved a few blocks ago, maybe 20 minutes ago, it seems like things have leveled out a little bit, and this has become more of a vocal protest instead of the isolated instances of, you know, physical pushing back and forth and confrontations and a lot of intense stuff, Casey.
David, before we began this broadcast, I was reading what you had posted to X, and it was some information from some of the event organizers, and we were stepping on one another a little bit early.
I'm going to tell you something here, folks. These No King protests are losing steam. They started doing these, I don't know, maybe a year ago now. That's old footage you're looking at right there. That's not live. That's earlier. These No King protests, they are fizzling out. Fewer and fewer and fewer people are turning out. I can tell fewer people across the country care about it. Like, 12 months ago with the first No Kings protest, I remember everybody on Facebook and Twitter, they're talking about it. Oh my gosh, we're going to stick it to President Trump. No kings, no kings. It was a big deal. All the Democrats were talking about it. All the leftoid voters were talking about it. Now it's like, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, another. It's, if you just keep on doing the same thing over and over and over again, people are going to stop tuning in. They're going to stop caring about it. Can you imagine if I got up here every single day and did the same show, if I talked about the same thing, if I said the same stuff every single day? You'd get bored. You would get bored. You'd stop tuning in. You stop caring. You start tuning me out. And I just think these No Kings protests, they've gotten boring. How many times do they have to have a protest where they scream and shout, no Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. Trump is a fascist. He's a pedophile, blah, blah, blah. It's just, we've heard it. We've heard it before. We've heard it all before. This is the fifth how many No Kings protests have there been? Let me get to the bottom of that here. Hold on. I'm going to look that up. In the last 14 months, how many No Kings days of protest have there been? I'm going to guess 4. Is this the 4th one? 3. June 14th, October 18th, and March 28th. Okay, this is the 3rd one. No Kings 3.0. Version 3.0. Yeah, listen, maybe the first one was kind of a big deal. June 14th, 2025. That's when we saw them blow up Los Angeles. They were lighting cars on fire. What am I hearing? Okay, folks, I'm sorry. I don't know where this is coming from, if I'm honest with you. I don't know where is this music? Where is this coming from? Sorry, folks. It's a one-man show. It's a one-man broadcast. I have no idea where this music is coming from. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I found it. No, we're good. Everything's fine. Everything is fine. Apologies there, folks. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Just a little groovy little jam. Nothing wrong with that. It's all good. It's okay. Hey, listen, it's a one-man show. We're doing the editing, the production. I'm the talking head. I'm doing all of it. Okay, it's a little bit much for one person. You lose track. Sometimes you lose track a little bit. There's too much going on for one person to keep on top of. That's the way it is sometimes.
You're not seeing people, tipping over trash cans or throwing water bottles or anything like that. Where, if you remember last year, I'm not sure what month it was, and it wasn't a No Kings protest, but we were over on the Margaret Hunt Hill Bridge, I believe, in West Dallas, and there was a different type of protest that happened that evening. I think it was late spring, maybe early summer, and we saw some protesters who were upset with actions of ICE, and they were getting a bit violent, throwing water bottles and different things over at officers, and some of those officers had to bust out shoot pepper balls at protesters, and
that's right.
That is not anything of like what we're seeing here today. That was a full-on year ago, and again,
thank you, Cobra Commander.
It was at night.
Thank you very much.
This is a daytime protest, which in the daytime you typically see the more cooler heads prevailing, and you typically.
I cannot fathom being this reporter up here who's saying that normally these No Kings protests, everything is peaceful, it's all good, everybody's happy. Dude, we all watched the last two, namely the first, where really in Los Angeles, it was bad. Okay, they were blowing up cars.
We just passed the Main Street and Lamar Street intersection, heading now toward Commerce and City Hall.
America, land of immigrants.
From us.
Immigrants from where? From where?
But yeah, as far as those notes that you were talking about, Casey, that you were reading on air, this is an organized group. It's the same group here in Dallas that has organized all of these No Kings protests. They were telling me that nationally, there are a lot of organizations involved in the No Kings movement, including Planned Parenthood and the ACLU, two very popular organizations who have a lot of funding that can help organize these protests in so many different areas. But then in certain cities, you know, they work with different local groups like this one, Indivisible Dallas, that's been around since 2017, and they're taking over the organizing for this event, mainly focusing on ICE actions, but then spreading it to a broad conversation about politics. I mean, some of the speakers who were at the podium today before this march happened will flat out say they are not capitalists, as the United States is. They are socialists or democratic socialists. And these are local groups who
We're not doing that.
are contributing to the organization of these rallies. And they are talking about a much more broader picture of what they want to see.
Let me tell you something here, folks. We saw, this is No Kings protest number 1 and number 2. I would assume this is what we're talking about here with No Kings protest number 3. We see American Communist Party donors. Says the American Communist Party has donated $10,000 to the No Kings or the American Socialist Party or whatever. Last time we saw, literally, it was various American communist groups donating money to these things. Let me ask you a question. Could you imagine if a bunch of right-wing Americans got together and took money from the American Nazi Party or the American Fascist Party? Could you imagine a right-wing protest where people are peacefully marching through the streets, but the American Nazi Party donated $10,000? You can imagine the headlines: Republicans hold Nazi rally, Nazi march, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but here we've got the American Communist Party and the American Socialist Party donating God knows how much to these events. Is anybody calling this a communist march or a communist rally? No, but I mean, really it is. By the same logic, of course it is. Of course.
People have been arrested. The details of these protests, what it's seen out here, its enforcement actions, etc. We do see some people with masks out here, which, you know,
Chrissy knows a few shekels to get Ranjit some training. Thank you for all you do.
Years away from
yeah, that was Ranjit,
pandemic.
I forgot.
Some people might still choose to wear a mask, but we do see some people who are choosing to wear a mask.
Thank you, Chrissy. Thank you very much.
There is a group over here to my right. Mel, if you're comfortable with me, you want to just follow me real quick? One thing I want to show, standing next to this
what are we looking
police
at?
Officer, there is a group of people here. They have long guns out here. They're wearing camouflage. I was looking at some of the patches on
what are
their
these
uniforms,
guys?
And it talks about, quote, Community Liberation Brigade. That's what they classify themselves as, CLB, Community Liberation Brigade. They've
got a trans flag.
Have patches on their backpacks that say medic, so they have tools in here, I guess, for first aid.
Right there.
They also have some patches that say, quote, anti-Nazi infantry unit. They are masked. I'm not sure where the organization from these folks came from, but they are here in the center of things, offering some sort of aid, I would imagine, for protesters. I don't know if there's been any sort of confrontation with them. You know, they do have weapons out here, and it seems like Dallas Police Department is walking alongside of them. They are walking alongside them. I'm not sure if they're... Are you able to talk, sir? Able to talk? No? Okay. I was just asking a Dallas police officer is able to talk, but he's not allowed to. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about half a dozen Dallas police officers right now here around this group that's just walking. Again, nothing has happened to necessarily raise an alarm, but DPD obviously just doing its job and just keeping an eye on things here in the middle of this section of the march.
Yep. They look a little bit frumpy, don't they?
It will be interesting to see how many people were taken into custody throughout this afternoon. Like I said, we have just seen a few, and we don't know for...
You know the word we use? These individuals here, right above me, they are LARPers. Do you know what a LARPer is? Live action role player. They're playing dress up. They're just out here playing dress up is what they're doing. They are LARPers. They're role playing.
Taken into custody with handcuffs. Officer said, quote, oh, he's going to jail. We just don't know what for. But we're continuing to walk down Lamar. City Hall is over to our left, and maybe do you want to cut over this way to get to City Hall? I'm talking to our photographer, Mel, right now about maybe getting around this group of protesters so we can get a nice view when they arrive back at City Hall. I can tell you now, because I know Casey was wondering about how many people were out here, and I was saying maybe a couple thousand. I can't tell you specifically, but what I can tell you is that we are covering 1, 2, 3, I believe 4 blocks long of protesters. 4 blocks of Lamar Street I can see protesters stretched back to. So if that gives you maybe some sort of an idea on how many people are out here. I know we had a chopper up earlier, so I'm sure some of that footage has been put on air. But typically, as these protests start to wrap up, as it appears right now, we're getting back towards City Hall. There will be some sort of come together moment at the end. Maybe some music will play, maybe one more final speech, and that'll probably be it. Everyone will go on their way.
This guy is such a leftoid propagandist freak. Like, man, it's tough.
When they start early on during the day. We've seen some protests, as I was mentioning earlier, like one last year over by the Margaret Hunt Hill Bridge that got a bit violent at night and some people were arrested. That was a nighttime thing that started off later in the evening at like 6 o'clock, and then once nighttime came around, things got a little out of control. But now, only, being mid-afternoon, most people you got to expect will probably be heading back to their homes here from downtown Dallas.
I'm looking for Los Angeles again here, folks. I'm scanning for Los Angeles.
Through the evening, but you never know. I can tell you again, though, that in covering the handful of No Kings protests that we've seen here in Dallas, this is the first time I've had to see dozens of Dallas police officers escorting people and being right there with them.
Yeah, well, that's the way it goes. Well, that's the way that it goes. In America, we have no kings. Look, they've got their script. They're on the website. They're reading off the entire script, the dialogue there. Okay, now, I real quick, I'm going to try to find a feed coming out of Los Angeles. It might just be the case that there actually is no big No Kings event scheduled in Los Angeles. Because so far, folks, I mean, it's almost 1 in the afternoon in LA. It's about 1 in the afternoon. I'm surprised that we're not seeing. Hold up. Wait just a minute. That's Dallas. There might not be a big Los Angeles event scheduled for the day. There might not be. You know what I do have? You know what I do have coming out of Los Angeles? Ladies and gentlemen, I have just discovered a live feed of Skid Row in Los Angeles, and this is just like disgusting. This is a live Skid Row feed. Beautiful dog. Beautiful dog. Wow, I feel bad for the dog. Good looking dog. Anyway, yeah, they're just sleeping on the sidewalk. They're living in filth and garbage and refuse. So that's not what we're looking for, though. That's not what we're looking for. I was looking for Los Angeles No Kings. That's what I was looking for.
Political overreaction. And at the center of it all, deep divisions in the country over topics like immigration, war, and presidential power, the use of executive authority. And you do have a number of people, some of those counter-protesters that are pointing out that the border was in chaos when President Trump took office, and that ICE is enforcing existing law, that they're not doing extreme measures. And critics of the protests say that the opposition is undermining the federal law enforcement operation. So, you've got two very clear sides on this. A number of Americans are watching this and wondering why people are taking to the streets, because they view President Trump and his administration and Republicans as doing what voters elected them to do.
And that is exactly what he's doing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have a picture of a No Kings protester on the streets in Minneapolis. I'm going to show you a picture. Okay, if you have children in the room, or if you are particularly sensitive, I want you to look away from the screen. I'm giving you a 10-second heads up. I'm going to show you a protester here. They're not naked, like kind of a little bit, but Heads up. Here we go. Wait, that's me. Wait a minute. That's me. Wait, wrong camera. Sorry. This is what I wanted to show you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a No Kings protester that was seen sighted on the streets of Minneapolis earlier today. This person can only be described as a mutant, as a spiteful, hateful mutant who is out here. I don't exactly know who they have tattooed on their stomach, but this is the type of person that's out there rolling around, chanting and screaming hysterically about how terrible President Trump is. Your eyes, I know, I apologize, I know, sorry. So, really, these people are just like psychotic. We're going to check in on the No Kings rally in Minnesota. Take a look at this one here. Yeah. Okay, well, this is an individual named Doreen Day Wabanukwe. Doreen Day Wabanukwe. Performing the traditional song called Guguminisnan Giwatag Idzigung. Well, I'll be damned. That's my favorite song. That's one of my favorite songs. Well, I don't know how President Trump is going to recover from that one. You think President Trump? She is, permission to be honest, she's getting a little bit fat. Anyway, moving on. Okay, we have more footage. Hold up.
Fuck you, you pussy! Fuck you!
They're going off.
You look like a pig! Porky pig! Porky pig! Really? Really? You're inbred, dude.
You're inbred.
You guys have...
This one I think we saw not too long ago.
It's not a superhero that's going to come to save us, right? It's us. We are the people we've been waiting for. Normal people showing up, speaking out, making it clear that we actually...
Folks, I'm going to tell you something. This No Kings protest is like totally lame compared to some of the other ones. The energy, the momentum, the vibe, it's like barely anybody showed up, low energy. Comedian Josh Cedar trolls No Kings protesters.
Democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell us what Chicago looks like.
This is what Chicago looks like.
Tell us what freedom looks like.
This is what freedom looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
What
Democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell us what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Okay. Happening now, a massive crowd has gathered in Boston, Massachusetts. This video is old. I guarantee you, this is old footage. I remember that from the last one. In fact, I remember that from the first one. Old footage. Fake. You have these people.
Yeah, I hold it so I can take a picture.
Fabulous, ladies.
Fabulous. She's got a red handprint smeared over her face. Great.
Fabulous.
Great.
Have someone else take home. I would be happy to take one.
Great.
It's okay. I mean, oh,
yeah, you can. Take
I didn't bring one. I had a digestive upset this week, so. I'll be happy to take that.
I'm physically cringing. Like, I'm shaking. I'm cringing so much. This is so embarrassing that you would do this. Ugh. Does anybody else have the ick? It's just like, ugh, dude. Grandma, what are you doing? Ugh.
That
Ugh.
was better. Thank you. You know what? I'll take that one and save it for the next protest.
Fabulous, ladies. Fabulous. Thank you.
3 more years of this.
I know you're not supposed to say anything.
I
I watch Handmaid's Tale, okay?
66. This is the worst I've seen. Yeah, it's just heinous. Nixon looks like a prince now. Nixon looks good now.
So effective. So effective.
In the front little section.
Wow, that's super cool. That's super cool. No kings. No kings. Trump is running around the world taking out kings. It's unbelievable. That's something else.
You know, when I walked through there, all I got called was a fucking traitor, that I should be ashamed to be gay, that I turned against my own people. Like, first of all, I don't stand for the alphabet mafia, okay? You can be gay, you don't need a fucking month, you don't need a flag, you don't need any of that. I have common sense, I'm a conservative. Doesn't mean I agree with everything Trump says.
Sterling Wilson III, massive super chat. He says, brother, these people don't know how lucky they are to be able to waste their time safely protesting this nonsense. They literally would not be safe in Iran. So true. Not just Iran, like a good 55, 60, 70, 75% of countries on the face of the planet right now. Most of the planet would not tolerate, most countries or governments or regimes around the world would not tolerate any of these type of hysterics.
You know what?
You're right, sir.
Constitution to put him in again in 2028.
Just like Biden stole the fucking election.
Wait, what about the transgender thing then? Like, you don't support transgender? Why?
Because I don't. If you want to be transgender, then they better start accommodating bathrooms and sports teams. And prisons. Do you know I went to prison?
Absolutely.
I went to prison for January 6th for misdemeanors to a medium federal women's prison, and I was with men.
You were
raping women. Yes, because they identify.
Democracy sounds like this is what democracy. See, those people need to be protected.
You're fake news.
They need to be protected.
We got a MAGA lesbian. We got a good old-fashioned, all-natural MAGA lesbian. Oh my God. There is a video. There is a video. Oh no.
It's happening nationwide. No kings. What does no kings protest mean?
You know, I think it means that the Dow is over 50,000. So that's what we should be paying attention to right now, okay? But really, we're sick and tired of this administration and all the wrongs that they're doing. It makes us sick. Most American people feel the same way. We need to take to the streets and do something about it. We're out here making fun of these insane people that currently have power in the White House because you have to clown fast.
You're making fun of these insane people, huh? You have whatever the hell this thing is on a leash. You see the leash? This is some type of sex fetish display, and you're making fun of insane people?
They hate it. It hurts their ego, and it gets people going.
It's happening nationwide.
Oh no, maybe it was Trump on the leash. Okay, they got Trump on the leash. Actually, I think they have all types of leashes. They got a leash back there. They got a leash there. This woman is pregnant. Coming down here pregnant. This guy, this is a gay man in a fishnet shirt with his nipples protruding. Very disrespectful. Disrespectful nipples. This is insanity. This is insane. Oh man, what do we do about this? Like, what do all of this? What do we do about all of this? What do we do about all of this? Very disrespectful nipples. I don't know. I don't know what else is going on out here. This is New York City, allegedly. What do we do about this? New York City makes sense. There's a lot of people. There's a hell of a lot of people in New York City, right? Look at that. You know, I would.
You're going to be here when they pass?
Got audio there. We've got drone footage.
Get a sweeping one, from downtown to uptown.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess it's not drone. It's just looking outside of one of the windows up here. That's a lot of people down there in New York City. New York City, man, I hate to say it, it has been conquered. It has been overrun. New York City has been conquered and overrun with...
Who's on desk today?
A certain type of people. A certain specific type of people. They're overrunning the cities. They're taking over.
Is Kenny out as well?
And I'm not happy about it.
I don't think so. He might be, but I'm not sure. But
Yeah, I don't think I ever need to go. I've never been there. I don't think I need to go, man. Too many people. It's too loud. Everybody's rude. Everybody is communist and Muslim. I think I'm fine. Just right where I'm at. Right where I'm at. I don't need to go there.
This place that they installed like some anti-reflective glass.
Yeah, it kind of makes it soft.
Yeah,
Weird.
it is.
Knives, but we don't know again if any formal arrests or criminal charges will come from this. That gentleman that we just took away from had an ice jacket on, and I can tell by looking at a real
That was old
ice
footage,
jacket
actually.
that was not authentic. So you have some people that are also dressed in a certain way, in a certain manner, to draw attention to themselves. But this thing has been drawing thousands of people to downtown Dallas this afternoon. And Fox 4's David Sintendry has been right in the middle of all of it. And we want to rejoin David and get an update from what he is seeing there on the ground.
Going on the ground?
As folks make their way back to Dallas City Hall and things.
Okay, I think we're going back down on the ground here. We'll take a look at that. This is in Dallas. Okay, real quick, I need to show you folks something. You're not going to believe this. No Kings protest exposed that the Democrats' base is just old white leftists. That's a Beatles song. I prefer crushed ice. Now you've pissed off grandma. Uh-huh. You got to get a hobby. Crochet, knitting, baking cookies, making lemonade, watching the Matt Morse broadcast every single day on YouTube and Rumble, and making sure to like and subscribe to the show if you enjoy it. Those are good. Those are good hobbies. These are good, productive hobbies.
Who was blocking the front vehicle of the march and blocking people, and multiple DPD officers came and grabbed him, and they forcefully took him off to the side and they sat him down in a parking lot. And if that's not detainment, we'll have to find out what word they would be using for that. So not sure. We'll follow up with DPD on that. But I guess at this point in time, one person has been detained. We saw a video of that. We'll keep you updated on what we learned from it. But yeah, you know, this has been going on for several hours now. Everything got underway around noon, and we've seen plenty of people heading back to their cars already right now. Once this march got over, a lot of people are heading on for their day. It's been a long day. It is a little bit chillier compared to what we've seen in days past, of course. I mean, I think we're at 58, 59, 60 degrees.
Oh, okay. So it's a little bit too chilly outside to fight fascism. They really want to fight fascism, and Donald Trump is a Nazi. He's a king. He's a KKK member, whatever. But it's just like 5 or 10 degrees too chilly outside, so they're going to have to come back another day because it's slightly too cold and they forgot to bring their gloves and their mittens.
In there, that is the joy of bringing you this live coverage. Is we also have communication issues, and when you think about the number of people that are all converged on downtown Dallas at the moment, and I guarantee you almost every one of them has a cell phone, and that can sometimes jam up and gum up some of the communications, and so that prohibits us from getting information and pictures and live video out to you, the viewer. But you're looking at Sky 4 video right there on the Dallas City Hall Plaza, and people are gathered on the steps there. This event was supposed to be ending at 3 o'clock this afternoon. They did get underway a little bit later, so we expect there to be a little bit of carryover, but folks were marching through the streets, and then the police sort of directed them and corralled them back to the Dallas City Hall Plaza.
Oh, footage. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got footage coming out of my own hometown. This is where the Matt Morris story all began. This is Portland, Oregon. This is downtown Portland, Oregon, right along the waterfront here. The waterfront, the beautiful Portland waterfront, is now the home to thousands of homeless people. But today it's the home of all of these No Kings protesters.
People to kind of why they're here. Do you mind?
We're going to tune into this one here for a minute. Portland, Oregon, folks.
Spell your first last name for me.
Tom Shepard, Sheppherd.
All right. And Tom, just tell me kind of why you came down here today.
Yeah, we're just protesting the current regime that America lives in. It's maddening to be living in these times, and it's good to see be amongst people to protest the acts of our government.
Do you find this to be helpful, to be out here and to demonstrate?
Very much so, yeah. It's great to be showing force, be amongst a lot of people, and, being in a group of people, the protest, what's going on is a great thing.
What's going on
have you
specifically?
Together, No Kings protest?
Yeah, this is our third one.
Are you gay?
And just kind of how you heard about it.
Actually, through my friend Bob here, and the media does a great job in promoting that No King's Day is on March 28th.
What are some of the biggest issues that you have with this current administration?
Yeah, I'm not particularly happy with ICE and the way they're treating immigrants. A lot of the immigrants being legally here, but not happy about the war in Iran and many other actions of the Trump administration.
And tell me just about your signs. Kind of what do you got?
Today we're wearing a good old president as the Joker.
Oh my God!
And just not very happy with the way he's acting.
Great. Anything else you'd like to add?
I think that's good.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy. Thank
Cool. Wow, cool. Wow.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
2020, 2000.
Oh,
when
yeah.
voter
It's going down in P-Town. They've got all the inflatable costumes. There's a Norwegian flag. There's a Cascadia flag. There's a...
Oh, nice. That's what I was asking.
No New Wars.
So we had to watch that.
They're really down here. They're right on down here.
Watching NBC News.
So that guy didn't seem that bright, did he? I feel like if you're somebody that is going to have very strong political convictions, maybe you have such strong political convictions that you're going to spend time on your Saturday marching around downtown, screaming and shouting, you should, like, at a basic level, be equipped to explain what positions you have. Okay, you seem to feel very strongly about something. Why? Without even arguing, just like, okay, why do you feel the way you feel? A lot of these people, they just can't. There's no depth. There's no substance. They have no idea why they feel the way they feel. They're just mad. They're just mad and full of hate. They're going to go march around and scream and shout and have their George Soros printed signs Orange man bad. They can't even explain it. There's no logic at all.
Too introverted.
Okay.
I don't want to talk. I'm too introverted. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You see a lot of purple hair, pink hair, blue hair. If we watch this broadcast here long enough, you're going to quickly realize why I ended up getting married to a woman from Germany halfway around the world as to a woman from my hometown of Portland, Oregon. When I was living in Portland, how do you think a guy like me, how do you think the dating scene was? A little bit rough. A little bit rough for a guy like me in Portland, Oregon. There's a reason why things have gone the way they've gone. Freak show? Yeah. Yeah. Here's a cute dog. Orange man bad. I'm out here. I'm scanning again to try to find another Los Angeles broadcast. Folks, I don't think anything is happening in Los Angeles. Real quick, let me show you. Okay, the big event of the day seems to be in Minneapolis. And they have all of these community leaders up there on stage. This is live in Minneapolis. They've got a big crowd. They're having speeches.
My name is Flannery Clark. I'm from the south side of Minneapolis. And for 117 days and counting, I've been wearing this whistle around my neck. I have no plans to stop anytime soon. I'm here representing tens of thousands of ordinary Minnesotans who, when faced with masked and armed ICE thugs abducting our neighbors, said, "Not here, not now, not ever." Since December 4th, armed with whistles, phones, and our deep love for our neighbors, my community and I have built systems of protection in nearly every neighborhood of our city. We did this to ensure our neighbors would not be abducted and disappeared into DHS prisons. We did this to keep families together. We did this because we knew even if we could not stop every act of terror, the least we could do was bear witness. We've built neighborhood alert networks that are so effective that at the height of the occupation, our response time to an ICE sighting in South Minneapolis was less than 2 minutes. Networks so strong, in fact.
So this is what's going on in Minneapolis right now. That's the deal in Minneapolis. The Portlanders are on the march. And they have the blow-up frog with them. Resist. Trump is a pedo. Yeah, that seems to be one of their big talking points, doesn't it? Absurd. Totally absurd. Chinga la migra. No blah blah, no blah blah. No blah blah Espanol, no blah blah. Brian Ledbetter here, he says, "Thanks, Matt. I'm overjoyed. Thanks for taking me back to Waterfront Park in Portland. We used to have memories of it being beautiful. These people made it ugly." Yes, they did. Are you originally from Portland, Brian? Portland used to be a beautiful city. I mean, it is architecturally, naturally, the nature of the trees. It is a beautiful city. Undeniably so. Portland is. It's the people. There's a people problem. The people have ruined it. It's a people problem. It's a terrible place to raise a family. Can't have a family there. There's homeless fentanyl addicts everywhere. Violence is skyrocketing. Communists on the city council. Like, literally, though. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. What are we looking at now? What's that? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you, I don't think anything is happening in Los Angeles. There's one more. I'm going to check TikTok. I'm not seeing anything. The reason why I'm interested in Los Angeles right now is because we're tuning in live to the third No Kings protest day. The first two, it was in both times it was Los Angeles where things really got crazy. The first time especially. But I'll tell you what, I don't even think anything is happening at all in Los Angeles today. I'm not seeing Jack Diddley. It's past 1 in the afternoon now. I'm going to tell you something here, folks. I said this 10 or 15 minutes ago, but these No Kings protests, they are every single time becoming increasingly low energy, ineffective, weak, lame, pathetic. They just keep on doing these, and they're getting less out of it every single time. It's just totally lame. And I would imagine they plan to keep on doing them. I bet they will. I bet they do. It's not looking good for them, though. Snooze fest? Yeah. Actually, yeah. Yes, it is. In fact, you know, between you and me, I'll be honest here. Given how just lame this is, and low energy this is, I think I might wrap up the show and try to get to work and make some videos for you guys. There's other news I can talk about, but I need some time to get it together and edit it and make videos. I think I might wrap up the show just because this is... what is this? This is totally uneventful. Folks, I think I'm going to wrap it up and get to work and make some videos for you guys this afternoon, so you've got something at least a little bit interesting to watch this afternoon. Because this is not it. They do have a giant inflatable frog. So, folks, I want to say thank you, everybody, very much for tuning in today on YouTube and Rumble. Thank you very much. I'm going to flip off the broadcast and immediately start scraping stuff together to get some interesting videos together for you folks that you can be watching later today. Thank you all very much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. A lot of super chats, new subscribers. Make sure to hit that like button, everybody. And I'll have some stuff in the next couple hours for you folks, okay? Thank you very much. I'll see you folks later. Take care, and until I see you next, God bless and stay safe. Thank you very much.